I'm gonna mute my mic so you can fucking check this shit out.
Mansa Musa leads Mali in Civilization VI Gathering Storm. He may have been the richest man who ever lived, and used his wealth as a tool to enrich his empire. Mali's unique ability is Songs of the Jaili. City centers receive additional food and faith for adjacent desert and desert hills tiles. Mines will provide less production, but a significant gold increase, and commercial hub buildings can be purchased with faith. Mali's unique district is the Suguba, which replaces the standard commercial district. This district grants a discount to every faith and gold purchase in the city in which it's placed, and receives a major adjacency bonus for rivers and holy sites. The Mande Kalu Cavalry is Mali's unique unit. This medieval unit receives gold from kills and provides protection to nearby trader units. Mansa Musa's unique ability is Sahel Merchants. Golden Ages increase trader capacity, and trade routes receive extra gold for each desert tile in the origin city. Though desert empires typically struggle to grow, Mali's focus on gold and purchase power will give you what you need to keep up with, or surpass, civs settled elsewhere on the map. Money may not buy happiness, but you may be able to buy victory as Mali. With this much gold and faith in his pocket, Mansa Musa can go for any type of victory. Will you store up the treasures of this world and the next? How will you lead Mali in Sid Meier's Civilization VI Gathering Storm?
Okay, so I'm foofing. Don't want to swear. I'm foofing hyped about this guy. It's fucking. Oh fuck! I already ruined it. This guy is really cool. Okay, so like this beginning stuff. Where is it?
Songs of the
So you get like extra food and faith for adjacent desert, which is so good. Because usually you're in desert, and unless you're like me and you like added some mods so that desert give you at least a little bit of food, or like oases give you extra like food and stuff, like deserts just give you nothing. So this is like so good for just settling in desert, because desert is like good value later on, because then there's like higher chance of getting the oil resource. Which, especially in, like, Gathering Storm, the way strategic resources work, it isn't like you have one, like, oil and then that's it. Like, you need to have continuous, like, supply. It's going to be like a gold per turn kind of thing. You need, like, strategic resources per turn to, like, maintain and build certain units. So later on in the game, if you have a monopoly on oil, oh boy, you're going to get a lot of money or diplomatic favor. So you got that. You also got, like, the ability to put, like, mines, and then they make gold. They get minus production, so you have, like, less production. But you get gold, and that isn't just, like, mines on, like, you know, silver and gold and, like, luxury and bonus resources. That's just all mines. So, like, you can just you can put, like, an industrial district in one that's surrounded by mines, and all those mines are giving you a ton of gold. So, like, you're losing out on a little bit of production. There's only -1 production. It's going to suck a little bit in the early game. Mali's going to be kind of rough in the early game, because you're losing on that production. You haven't got your economy, like, kicked in yet, so you don't have a lot of purchasing power to get everything you need. And that's kind of where they're going to suck. Like, if I'm playing against a Mali, I'm pretty much going to be like, oh, he's next to me. Time to just early rush him and kill him, because he hasn't got any economy. But once he has an economy, it's pretty much like Venice in Civ 5, when you get, like, the, what's it called? The, like, money civic tree, where you can get land snakes. It's sort of just like, you don't need to worry about having a standing army, because it's just more gold penalty, and, like, if you're getting invaded, just buy up a bunch of land snakes, and suddenly you have a standing army of mercenaries just appear out of nowhere. Like, I can see that being the playstyle for him. I could actually see a lot of, especially since, like, the strategic resources cost, like, you need one of that strategic resource to maintain a unit. I could see if you have, like, a monopoly on, like, oil and stuff, and you're selling it to people, like, after you win a war, or you get, like, a peace, I could see someone playing Mali would pretty much just sell their military, like, or, like, destroy the military, so they take away the gold maintenance, they get more gold back per turn, and they don't need that army anymore until a fight, and then they can just buy it up again. So it could probably be more economical to just like sell it in between wars, especially if they're not too expensive units. And because of the CO2 emission mechanic in the game, where if you have a lot of tanks, the tanks will emit CO2, so that will affect your carbon footprint if you want to, appease certain people like the Maori who like people who want to help the environment and stuff like that. Or if you just want to get a lot of diplomatic favor by being beneficial to the environment.
Cities, desert,
so, get a lot of gold, that's basically like a trading post.
Is the Suguba, which replaces the standard commercial district. This district grants a discount to every faith and gold purchase in the city.
I think this is 20%. Yeah, this is like 20%, which is huge. Because that can, like, if you're going for a lot of religion, which you most likely are, and then you take like theocracy as well for like even more like faith purchases, and you can also get like, I'm not sure, I can't remember what the building is. I think it's the Grand Temple that lets you buy military units with faith as like a government building. That's going to be huge because once you have like your faith economy, once you have a lot of like faith worshippers coming in, you can just buy up a bunch of military units when needed. Combine that with like God of War and Crusade, and then you can just like buy up a military, attack a bunch of people. Like God of War is strong as well because like you get faith based on the combat strength of the people, or I think it's like half the combat strength or something. And that's only when it's near a holy site, not necessarily near your holy site. So that's like one thing I keep forgetting whenever I don't take God of War when I'm playing like a military focused civ. Like I'm playing like Spain, where you want to get like religion and then like supplement that into your military. Like you can just invade someone else who's got a religion, and because you're near a holy site, you're getting that God of War faith, and that can help go back into your faith economy or whatever you'd want to call it.
Bonus for rivers and holy sites. The Mande Kalu Cavalry is
this unit also seems really strong.
This medieval unit receives gold from kills and provides protection to nearby trader units.
So like you can end up having this guy as just a sentry. Like later on in the game, you basically want to get a lot of these and then leave them and not upgrade them, so you can kind of just leave them like in your cities, and then in a 4-tile radius around the city, your like trade routes can't be plundered, which is huge. 4 tiles is massive. Like the Great General is only a 2-tile radius, and that reaches like pretty much your entire army if you're invading one city. So like having 4 tiles, that's massive. So if you have like a bunch of those like spread out, garrisoned in like a city or in like some nice little safe areas by like some forts and stuff, then that pretty much just secures your area, and like you don't even necessarily need to use them in combat after they've become obsolete in terms of like tech. Like you could just have them sitting in the back, like maybe like they're in the back next to your military engineers and your battering ram, or not battering, your medics and your supply convoys and stuff, to kind of protect them so they don't get like immediately like picked up by a scout. So like you can just have them in the background so that your traders have like more power. So if you're playing a very domination focused Mali, you can like once you take a city, immediately put a trader in that city and trade back to your capital to kind of like give some like roads and some infrastructure, and then like have Mali nearby so that trade route doesn't get taken away. That sounds really good. I really like the tactics behind having this unit sort of zone off traders. And that we can see all the information here. International trade routes gain +1 gold for every flat desert tile in the origin city, which is massive. Because like every flat desert tile in the origin city, that's like... Okay, because there's one way in my mind that I feel like you should play Mali, but this one also gives you variation to it, which is nice because it means you're not pigeonholed. So my idea, like of an optimal way from a first impression of how to play Mali, is play them really wide with very dense urban sprawl, because you get that adjacency bonus from, like, look, Suguba, you get like the +2 gold bonus for each adjacent holy site, which means if you have lots of cities within the 3 tiles of like each other, like placing them very close up and playing like Japan would, and just have lots of districts, holy site, commercial hub, like you have like 4 cities in a box or a diamond shape, and then in the center of that diamond you put all your holy sites and commercial hubs, so you can get that really huge adjacency bonus from all of them and getting lots and lots of gold. So you can play like that and just have like this like massive urban sprawl of commercial hubs and holy sites and get lots and lots of economy coming in from that. The other way of doing it with this is just to play like have your cities with a good amount of distance, so they all have like a lot of like desert tiles in each city instead of like having them all very close fighting over desert tiles. So you could potentially have your capital with a lot of desert tiles, and that's probably the city you're going to have Petra in, because this Civ is a guaranteed Petra rush. Like how in Civ 5, Babylon is like a great library rush. This Civ is going to like live around Petra. Like you just want Petra on this one. So like having your capital and just like expand your borders so you have all desert tiles in there. And then outside that you have a lot of cities that are just really tight knit. And those cities are pretty much there just for holy sites, commercial hub, and maybe an encampment district to defend them. Or maybe a harbour, so you can have Reina in like that city. Then again, you probably want to be alternating Reina between your cities so you can buy districts and stuff. I guess if you're playing with a lot of people nearby, and there's like a frontline city that's got like 3 civs nearby, you probably want to get Reina in there so you can like get the extra gold from trade routes coming in. Ugh, that's a mouthful.
Sahel merchants. Golden Age's increased trader capacity.
Oh yeah, and this mechanic, which I forgot about. I had to like check up this, because the way I thought it originally worked was once you get a Golden Age, you potentially only get that trade route in that Golden Age, and when the Golden Age is over, the trade route disappears. Like, it's a temporary bonus. But in the dev live stream they did as a follow-up, they confirmed that every time you get a Golden Age, you get a trade route. Which means if you get a Golden Age, you get a trade route. If you get a second Golden Age, you get a second trade route, and those stay. So if you, like, start the game really well, get a Golden Age, and just keep that up, getting loads and loads of Golden Age, you can just get lots of additional trade routes, which is massive, because trade routes are so powerful. Not just from the ability to trade with people and get gold, but if you wanted to go for any other victory type, like a science like victory type, you just have a ton of internal domestic trade routes, so that your capital can just like rush a lot of like district projects for like the space projects, because you get that -30 production penalty to like units and buildings, but not to districts and district projects. So you can get Reina, put it in the city, buy the whatever it's called, the launch pad district for, you know, launching rockets. I fucking had the brain fart of that name. And then just put all your production towards city projects, which is also another thing you can do when you have all these other like lots of dense urban sprawl cities, is that just put them all on like commercial hub projects. And since the production queue is coming out in the game, you can just sync up like 5 queues of like commercial hub project, commercial hub project, commercial hub project, maybe holy site project, commercial hub project, and just do those, which is such a lifesaver for me, because I like playing Rome and just playing really like wide and having lots of cities and just claiming a lot of territory. But once you get to like medieval, Renaissance, and later, it becomes a headache, because you've got like 20 cities and you're like, nice, I got 20 cities. Fuck, now I have to manage 20 cities. So having a production queue will certainly help a lot in that. Ugh. But yeah, that extra trade route you get is also going to be massive value when you're going for that Petra rush. Because if you can get an early Golden Age, then when Petra comes around, which is pretty soon, I think. Yeah, it's like, that's mathematics. So that's like coming up to Renaissance era, I think. I have to double check. So if you can get like an early, like maybe a heroic age or like a golden age, and then get that extra trade route, you can use that extra trade route to get a domestic trade route from the city that's building Petra to get that extra production and food that will definitely give you an edge in trying to rush that wonder.
And trade routes receive extra gold for each desert tile in the origin city. Though desert empires typically
Also, I love the look of these canals. They look so cool.
struggle to grow, Molly's focus on gold and purchase power will give you what you need to keep up with or surpass civs settled elsewhere on the map. Money may not buy happiness, but you may be able to buy victory as Molly. With this much gold...
Also, I don't know if anyone else noticed this, but look at the end of this.
Mansa Musa can go for
Look at that pan. Look at that pan. I wonder if that's a thing that they've just done for the video, or if that's a thing that they're adding to the game, like a nice cinematic pan there. Because that'd be really nice for like some nice like cinematic shots of the city. I'm totally into that.
For any type of victory.
Look at that.
Will you store up the treasures of this world and the next? How will you lead Molly in Sid Meier's Civilization VI: Gathering Storm?
Oh, so hype.